Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of In Case You Missed It. And as always, I am joined by Tommy.
Hello.
And we've made it to the 25th episode. We're a quarter of a century.
I feel like we've done way more episodes than this, but I have like 3 lost episodes in the.
Yeah, I think it is like 3, if not more, last episodes.
The old studio we used to record at was an absolute nightmare. But we've got a new studio now and it's much better.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we got some sad news during the week. It's not nice to start the show off this way, but we lost Rutger Hauer during the week at the age of 75. Obviously known for his roles, particularly in Blade Runner being the main one, but he had a big career. Has 173 credits.
He was really good in Batman Begins. I really loved him in that role, and it was a really small role, but he brought so much to it. And I think, as obviously as sad as it is in his time, it's important to remember that he had a really great long life, and you know, he had an amazing career that we can all celebrate and enjoy. So it's a really sad time, but it's, you know, a lot of people can continue enjoying his legacy forever.
Yeah, I think Blade Runner is particularly the one that he'll be remembered for. But he's in, like I said, there's been 173 things. I don't imagine that anyone could go down this list and find at least one thing they haven't seen, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was him." Yeah, so that is sad, and condolences go to his family at this time. Let's jump as always into the trailers, and a little bit of a quieter one. But we've got some trailers for stuff that wasn't at Comic-Con. Let's start at probably my favourite trailer of the week. The first look at A Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood with Tom Hanks, where he plays Mr. Rogers. What did you think of this one?
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, it looked like an Academy, sort of film that they're going to be looking at towards the end of the year. So I'm sure, in due course, we'll be talking about it maybe around the time of the Benjis, the Insider Awards. Maybe even one day in Dispute, who knows? But
maybe.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, Tom Hanks is great, just in everything in general. And I mean, obviously the character of the man, Mr. Rogers, is a lot bigger in America. And that's something that never came over here. But what you can't deny is that, we know about him. His show never aired over here, to my knowledge anyways. Never ever aired over here. But you know about him just through sheer popular culture and stuff like that. I've never seen an episode of his show, but I know loads about him, and I've seen him. I think, was it that video where he's standing up in Congress fighting for the budget cuts to the children's education TV industry and stuff like that. I've seen that sort of stuff. So he seems like such a great man. And I think Tom Hanks is the kind of actor who could bring a lot to that role. And I mean, it just looks like a warm film. It kind of just, this man towards the end of his career being interviewed about his career and his life, and obviously he's got troubles as well, and it's about exploring that. It just looks like such a great story to tell, because obviously when you look at people that have, such long careers and, this, that and the other, it's hard to kind of drill down, right, what story are we telling here? Are we going from the very beginning and just playing it through like a kind of standard biopic? Are we going to take this slice, that slice? And I think one like this, quite a self-reflective one where both can sort of learn and grow together, I think is probably the right way to go.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, we didn't have Mr. Rogers over here, but you just hear about him, and following some American stuff that myself and you do. You hear about him, and last year there was the documentary on him that I know a lot of people were upset about, that didn't get any Oscar noms. But to see this trailer, really, it gave me chills, and that speaks to what we already knew, that how great Tom Hanks is in this role. And as you said, it's got awards written all over it, and that's why I think this is a really big yes for me.
Yes, a big yes from me too.
So the next trailer we got is for Jojo Rabbit, a little bit different in tone to the last trailer. but this is Taika Waititi's next film. Obviously, he did What We Did in the Shadows and Thor Ragnarok and
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Hunt for the Wilder People. Obviously doing the next Thor, and it looks like he's gone back. I'm glad he's got this sort of film where he gets to do what he wants, and I love seeing the weird mind of Taika Waititi.
I mean, yeah, it looks really, really cool. Obviously, it's like a simple story of a young boy and Hitler Youth, and something to do with his mum hiding a Jewish girl. Is that right?
I think so.
Either way, it just looks like it's going to be an absolute riot. I love Taika Waititi's sense of humour. He's got a real eye just for like the man can direct. He can make a great looking, stylish film.
Yeah.
He creates like a perfect platform for these jokes and these characters to kind of live on. So I'm really looking forward to seeing like the next version. Obviously, Thor Ragnarok was amazing, but it was a departure from what I would consider a Taika Waititi film. Yeah, it was 100% there in the humour, but it didn't have that same style of it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to going back to that kind of Taika realm, and see him play Adolf Hitler. I'm sure this one won't be controversial at all, by the way.
No, I have no doubt that there won't be any controversy around this film at all. But yeah, like you said, I really enjoy it. I think I'd put Hunt for the Wilder People above. I'd put it above What We Do in the Shadows, I think.
You have to ask me whichever one I watched last.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like that he kind of does a big film and then he gets to do whatever he wants. And then if he's going to continue doing that throughout his career, then I'm excited to see where he goes. And he's only going to get better, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's a huge yes from me.
Yeah, it's a huge yes from me as well. The next one is interesting. We spoke about the first trailer for this, whenever that came out, months ago or however long ago it did. But we got a second look at Gemini Man, the film where Will Smith takes on himself.
Well, for me, I feel like this was a much better trailer. Looking at
the
trailer, it was much less creepy and uncanny valley. I think I don't know whether they hid some shots that just looked really bad, or whether it's one of those things where sometimes they put a trailer out. It's not the final VFX; it's still the finished VFX, so it could be something like that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, this trailer was much better, much more interesting. I think we got a lot more story in it. And I think I was a really strong no last time, and I'm actually kind of creeped towards a yes now.
Yeah, I'm in a similar sort of, but I think obviously the main thing here is seeing a young Will Smith, and like I said, I remember last time thinking, it looks a little bit uncanny, but it looked incredible in this trailer, to be fair. And I think that's what's drawing me more towards the film. But like you say, I don't know whether it's hiding some stuff. But even if it's not, then we've still got these moments where it does look great. And like I think you spoke about last time, there's so much footage of Will Smith in the 90s that him being this person, he's kind of the perfect person for this film, really.
100%.
And I don't know, I'm still a little bit worried about it. I think it's Ang Lee. I'm still not sure about how the film's going to be. So it's a very apprehensive yes, I think.
But yes.
I'm interested to hear your take on this one. The second trailer the first trailer for Zombieland 2 Double Tap. It got a lot of really positive buzz online. What did you think about it?
More positive buzz coming from this way. I think it looks like a lot of fun. It kind of captures the same fun and joy that the first one had. I love the first one. And it kind of just looks like a continuation of that, bigger and better. So that, they've gone from trying to get Twinkies to now like running the White House and meeting all these other fun characters, and what a great cast as well to have in a film like this. I can't wait to see it. I truly can't wait. This looks like just a fun ride. You can just sit down You not even switch your brain off because it looks like it's going to engage your brain still and be, a bit smarter than, a dumb comedy. I don't mean that offensively. I mean that, is almost like a different genre, but it does look just highly entertaining. Yes.
What year did the first one come out?
Oh, if I was to guess, I'd say 2012. But if I was to vamp, then I'd be like searching it right now.
Because I feel like 2009. Wow. I don't know. I'm still really apprehensive. I don't really get the positive. I haven't watched the first one in quite a while, and I don't know. There's something about it that just makes me feel. I wish we'd got this. Well, now that I know it's 2009, like 5 years ago, I just feel like I don't know. I don't know whether the comedy in this trailer didn't really work for me. It felt a bit meh. They did a weird thing at the beginning of the trailer where they do Academy Award nominee Woody Harrelson, as if, and then Academy Award winner Emma Stone, as if we already hadn't seen the title Zombieland 2 like 2 seconds before that. As if it was trying to take itself seriously and then flip it again.
I don't know. I think it's okay to put that even if you know the film, to put how good your cast is when you've got a great cast like that.
But I didn't think that's what it was going for. I think it was like trying to be, this is actually a serious film, and then go, no, it's not. Emma Stone's got a gun.
Oh no, I didn't think that at all. I thought it was just like, look how great the cast is for Zombieland 2, and I like how. So I actually like the longer time jump in that.
But it doesn't look like it's necessarily addressing that.
Well, 100% it is. That's what I was just about to say. And how like Abigail Breslin's character is now, 10 years older. She's because she was like, the little girl, the young sister in the first one, and now she's like a woman in her own right, and she's like addressing how you keep calling me like, little girl and stuff like that, and how like, Woody Harrelson seems to be stuck in the same place, whereas they've grown. It looks like Emma Stone and Jesse Eisenberg's relationship has, come 10 years further down the line, and what challenges they're going to face. And then they come to like face with like maybe themselves from 10 years ago. I feel like a lot of it was addressing the time jump. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Surprised you're not?
I don't know. Maybe I just need to rewatch the first one and get back in that sort of headspace. But just for me, given that first, I'd just say a maybe, to be honest.
Oh, it's a huge yes from me.
Let's jump into the headlines. So there's a few little bits that happened like over Comic-Con weekend, which we'll cover, but most of it's all new stuff this week. The first being that we're going to get 2 Halloween sequels back to back. They're going to shoot back to back as well, from October 2020 and then October 2021, with the titles being Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Did you get around to seeing Halloween?
Most of it.
Yeah, I remember most.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea really. These sorts of films. It's not that it's not. I'm not trying to speak to its quality in saying that. I just really don't enjoy it. I mean, you can make me the best. I mean, I'm about to take that simple saying that everyone says all the time and take it incredibly literally. But you could make me the best cup of tea in the world. I just don't like tea.
Yeah,
so
I know what you mean.
it genuinely is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's really interesting. I actually really did like I remember in the cinema I didn't love it as much as everyone else did, but then I rewatched it and I thought it was great and enjoyed it a lot more the second time around. It did really well at the box office, so it's no surprise that it's getting, and obviously the way that it ended, the last one, made sense that we're going to get another one. It's interesting that they've got the third one in this sort of rebooty sort of Halloween 4, whatever it technically is, calling it Halloween Ends, as if that's going to be the end of the franchise.
How many times we've been there in horror films before?
Exactly, but it does make me wonder more, because obviously it's Blumhouse, and I wonder if they're going to after 2021 they're gonna shift it to maybe a Friday the 13th or a Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever old 80s sort of horror franchise they're gonna go to next.
I can't wait for like 30 years time when they start rebooting like this stuff from now. Like when we get like the It Follows like reboot and stuff like that.
But yeah, as far as we know, Jamie Lee Curtis is returning as the same director as well. So I think this is a recipe for money as long as it doesn't. Which oh no, I'm thinking of Freddy X where he's in space and that's just
Yep.
so bad that it's good sort of film. Tarantino is doing the rounds at the moment. Obviously, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is out in the US at the moment. So everyone's, as this is his 9th film, everyone's still wondering, oh, what's your 10th going to be? And then he seems to be finding a lot of loopholes, as we knew he would, because he's never really going to retire. He first came out and said that Star Trek, if he was to do the next Star Trek film, because he's such a huge fan, that wouldn't count as a 10th film. That'd be like a 10.5, is what he said.
Because it's not a Tarantino film. It's just a film that Tarantino's doing, right? Right, Quentin?
Obviously, he's such a huge fan of that. I think that's more of the loophole in it. In that, it's like if you went, oh, you could direct to like a Star Wars fan, you could direct the Star Wars film, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I have to do that. Like, I'll come out of retirement just to do this. But like the other thing, he also said that he's been talking with Uma Thurman about Kill Bill 3. And he also clarified that Kill Bill 1 and 2 are technically one film, which they 100% are.
They literally released them in some theatres at the same time. Like, I'm pretty sure at Tarantino's theatre, he shows them back to back, and it's just an interval.
Yeah. Apparently, like, when he finished the cut of the first the film, and it was like 4 hours long, the studio was like, nah, you can't do that. And, okay, I'll just split it in two.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to know what you'd want from a Kill Bill 3, if you'd want that at all, or...
It's hard to say because I love the Kill Bill films. I know a lot of people are like, it's on the lower end of their Tarantino lists. It's probably actually on the higher end for me. But it's one of the... It had such a perfect ending. I mean, spoiler alert. She killed Bill. But, if Tarantino's got an idea, I want to see it. If he's got something in mind that he wants to do, and, I trust him to be sacred with his own work. So I feel like if there's something he really, really wants to do, and there's a story he really, really wants to tell, then I'm there for it.
I think it was on Collider Live that they were talking about this, and they said, what if it's, in the beginning of the first one, there's the little girl.
Yeah.
What if it's her going after the bride?
I know who you're talking about. The daughter who says, and she literally says, like, if you want one day, come and get revenge to me. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work, I guess. I don't know why it needs to be called Kill Bill though, because all his films are like connected anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you wouldn't even need to kill. I think you'd have to kill whatever, and then I think put Uma Thurman in the trailer, and you'd probably be
Kill the Bride.
Kill Bride.
You may now kill the bride.
Yeah. It work.
I don't know. I'm not a marketing guy.
The other bit of news, we saw them sort of together in the Jay and Silent Bob trailer. They weren't actually together, but they're in the show. But we know that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are going to write and star in The Last Duel for Ridley Scott, which is about, I think it's in France. It's literally about the last ever duel that took place.
Yeah, it's like King Charles VI, right?
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I mean, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon started their careers writing scripts together. I mean, that's how Good Will Hunting got made.
Yeah.
And they're very, very talented people. It's based on a book, so an adaptation's got, a foundation there. And Ridley Scott is one of those flip a coin directors lately.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to talk about. What was the last thing that
The
you
Martian, I loved.
Oh yeah, The Martian, I suppose.
That wasn't that long ago. I'm trying to think if there's anything between then and now.
I'll get it out.
I don't think there was that I enjoyed.
All the Money in the World.
Actually, it was pretty good. And considering I mean, we won't really go into it in massive detail, but obviously Kevin Spacey was replaced by Christopher Plummer after the film was sort of been shot due to everything that came out about him. So he was sort of rightfully removed from the project. So there's all those challenges. I'm glad Ridley Scott did that. I really enjoyed it.
But then you look at something like, I can imagine for you didn't. I don't even know if you watched Alien Covenant.
I don't want to watch it. No,
I don't think so.
Prometheus.
But yeah, the Prometheus I know you didn't enjoy. Then you got like Exodus, Gods, and The Counselor as well.
The Counselor's notoriously one of the worst. And then Prometheus. Yeah. Robin Hood.
Yeah, there's
Body of Lies.
Body of Lies was before that, yeah.
American Gangster's good, so I guess. And then before that, it was like Kingdom of Heaven, so that was pretty good. So, wow, between 2015, you have to go all the way back to 2007 before I did another good film. So,
but it does seem, I don't know, I know I like Alien Covenant more than most people, but if I put All the Money in the World, Alien Covenant, and The Martian together, that's 3 decent films as far as I'm concerned.
The Martian's a great film.
Yeah, obviously the Oscar nominated the Comedy of the Year, the Golden Globes winner of.
I told you before, we don't speak about that.
He's got some interesting stuff in development, actually.
Well, the interesting thing there is Matt Damon in The Martian.
Oh yeah, of course. That I didn't put that together until you just said it.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Matt Damon gets about, doesn't he? Cameoing and everything.
Yeah, he's working.
He's definitely got some money. It's cool to see Ben Affleck and Matt Damon together again.
Yeah. Are we going to see both of them together in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot? I can't remember if they're like on screen together or if they're separate.
They're not. In the trailer, they weren't together, but I imagine you must have to put them together. I reckon you do. I reckon they just happen to be on set the same day.
It could just be a scheduling thing though. Like it's hard to get that sort of stuff going sometimes.
But I don't know how much Ben Affleck's got in development. Obviously, the stuff that went on with him going to rehab and obviously the Batman stuff. And I'm just gonna go onto his IMDb now and see what he's got going on. He's got some stuff. He looks like producing stuff.
I just want to see the man direct again.
I'd love to see him direct again.
And I think he's got a couple of things coming up in pre-production.
Yeah.
Like a war film and like some sort of legal film.
Yeah, so he's got stuff going on. I really loved Argo.
I really loved The Town. The Town was incredible.
I haven't watched The Town yet, but
The Town was great.
Definitely get into it.
My favourite of his though is probably Gone Baby Gone. Just edges like sort of Argo and The Town for me. I never saw Live by Night. I heard it was pretty boring.
Yeah, I didn't hear good things. I heard that was that one of the ones there where they were like, because I think it was Warner Brothers as well, and so that was kind of their way of trying to get him to do Batman.
I think so.
He's an interesting man, that Ben Affleck. So last week on the last show we spoke about all the Comic-Con news and all the Marvel news, and one of their biggest announcements was the announcement of Mahershala Ali as Blade, and what will be their Phase 5. Do you think we're going to hear their Phase 5 announcement at D23?
I don't know. I doubt it. I think we'll just get more on Phase 4.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. I don't know. A lot of people seem to be suggesting that we will, but I feel like they're still trying to work out all the fine print of the Fox stuff and what's going on there. So I think it's a little bit too soon. But a lot of people put out there that they want Jordan Peele to direct Blade. He's already come out and said no, he doesn't want to do it. But then, I've got a couple of questions here. One, would you have wanted to see Jordan Peele do Blade? Two, he's not going to do it, so who do you want to see do it? And then three, what superhero film would you like to see Jordan Peele do?
Oh God, I mean, some advanced warning for that would have been nice.
Yeah.
So would I have liked to see Jordan Peele do Blade? I always feel it's best to just strip these questions down to, would I want to see a talented director work on a film that I really want to see? So the answer is yes. What was the next question?
He's not going to do it.
He's not going to do it.
So who do you want? Do you want Guillermo to come back?
I mean, I'd love that, but I don't think that would fit
No.
what I think we're looking for.
I did a little bit of research on it, and I saw
F. Gary Gray.
F. Gary Gray's not a bad shout. I saw someone chuck out Alex Garland out there.
Okay.
And
I love Alex Garland
doing
whatever he
wants
wants
at the moment.
He also did Ex Machina and then Annihilation. And I think he's got a TV show
coming out next.
Oh, okay. I mean, to be fair, I heard. I didn't want to see it. I think you saw it, so you could speak more to it. But I heard Men in Black International was terrible.
Yeah, that was
terrible. Yeah, I forgot F. Gary Gray did that.
But Fast and Furious, Fate of the Furious, and Straight Outta Compton are amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So
I really like Be Cool as well, actually.
Be Cool. I don't think I've watched that.
Yeah, it's a sequel to Get Shorty.
I watched that over.
Both really good films.
I really don't know who I'd want to do this. I'm trying to think of, I don't know, someone I would have thought I would have liked to have done it would be like an Andy Muschietti, who obviously who did It 1 and 2, but obviously he's gone on to do The Flash.
I think it's important to get an African American voice in there.
Yeah, but I don't know, I was kind of struggling to kind of think of, I don't know, people to do it, and that kind of says a lot about Hollywood at the moment. I don't know, maybe Keegan-Michael Key could do it.
Maybe. Has he got any desire to direct? I don't even know.
I don't know, but you go from... Do you know what I finished watching? I know we watched the first episode together of Weird City.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched it all now, and it's great. I think you'd love it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would. Is it not on YouTube Premium?
Yeah, it is. But I've got it in the moment because I was on another free trial to finish watching Cobra Kai, which is also great. But yeah, I watched Weird City at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think Keegan-Michael Key, not just call him Key from Key and Peele, but yeah, Keegan-Michael Key. I don't think he's ever directed anything, so I don't know if he's got that desire to, you know.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm really trying to think of someone to do it now. I should have prepared.
This is your fault. You dropped this.
Go on, then answer the last bit. What superhero film would you like to see Jordan Peele do?
I would like to see him make...
Oh, you know what? I've got it.
Oh, okay.
Fuqua.
Yeah, cool.
I've got it.
What would I like to see him do?
Would you like to see him do like a horror thing, or would you like to see him do
Not necessarily.
something different?
Maybe.
Would you like him to do your Silver Surfer movie?
No. I think more like let me think.
With Common.
Maybe I don't know. I don't have an answer for you.
We'll come back to it next week when you've had time to prepare and I haven't just dropped it on you.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do, because there are other headlines that I didn't tell you about. Well, one, I wanted to get your reaction for.
Great.
So the next bit of news, and it was actually kind of surprising, but I think when you adjust it for inflation, it's not as surprising. The Spider-Man Far From Home has become the first Spider-Man film to cross $1 billion The box office, which I don't know, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember if it was in the review or actually on In Case You Missed It about the Sony deal and if Far From Home would cross a billion, didn't cross a billion, what would happen? But it has anyway, so that seems to suggest that Spider-Man's going to stay in the MCU at least for now. I don't know what that means as far as like a Venom film, if he's going to fold in. I think it probably will be. We didn't hear anything about the Spider-Man, the Sony universe of Spider-Man characters or whatever it's called, last week at Comic-Con. So I'm interested to see now what.
I think Sony are so stupid for that $1 billion thing. I think I said that last time as well, but I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's great that it's made that money. It's a good movie. That's kind of the market now for these sorts of films. So I guess that is kind of a weird barometer. I think it's the end of the world if it only makes 900 million or 800 million. It's stupid to be arguing between that, but you know, if for the sake of this stupid Sony rule, if that report is true, then I guess this is good news.
Yeah, and the other thing that comes from this is that all 3 MCU films that have been released this year have crossed over $1 billion, which is madness. Disney are making, obviously they're not making money from the Sony one, but I don't know how that works. But, yeah, they're making money, and obviously Aladdin's also crossed $1 billion this week as well.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of talk as to whether that will get a sequel now that it's crossed $1 billion. The same for Lion King, which had a huge opening weekend. Whether that will get a sequel.
Massive opening weekend.
Yeah, huge. And we spoke about the box office of that opening weekend on the last show, so go and listen to that if you want to hear us break down last weekend's box office. Are you ready for the bits of news that I didn't prepare you for?
Go on, surprise me.
Which one do you want for? There's one that you'll be really excited about and one that you probably don't care about. Which one do you want first?
Give me the one I don't care about and then like hit me with the big one at the end.
Okay. So the one you probably don't care about is, I know how much you love Venom.
Oh god.
So they're trying to find a director for it at the moment. So you might actually be excited by some of the directors that are on this shortlist.
Okay, as long as it's a new one.
Yeah, there's not Ruben, because it was Ruben Fleischer he's busy because of Zombieland 2.
Right.
Which is why he's not coming back, I think. I don't know why I closed the tab with it in, but so one of the names on the shortlist was Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Which is obviously a weird choice to direct it, not star in it. So that's obviously he did Mowgli and he did Breathe. 2 very different films and films that would be very different to Venom 2 as well.
Yeah, I guess.
The other 2 names that were on the shortlist were Travis Knight, who did
Bumblebee, yeah,
and Rupert Wyatt, who did
Rise of the Planet
who did
of the
the
Apes.
first Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie.
With Andy Serkis.
Okay, that one excites me. That's the one that's like propped my ears up.
That's the one. I think that's the I'm in the same boat. I think that's the one that would, if it was to get me excited for any sort of Venom sequel, I think it'd have to be. And I think Andy Serkis need to see a little bit more from him.
Yeah, I mean, when you said Andy Serkis, I wish I said it now, but my first thought that came to mind was like, oh wow, I wish it was Matt Reeves or Rupert Wyatt, not him.
Yeah,
because they feel like they have the motion capture thing. So the Rupert Wyatt news interests me.
I think Matt Reeves would have been a great choice to see this, but obviously he's doing Batman, which I'd much rather he did than waste his time on a Venom sequel.
Agreed.
Are you ready for this? Big news.
Go.
One of your favourite people in the world, Sylvester Stallone, has done some talking.
Okay.
He has said that Rocky 7 is in development.
Rocky 7, not Creed 3.
Not Creed 3, Rocky 7.
That's great news. That's great news.
Who would you like to see him fight?
He's got to get back in the ring.
Whose dad do I want to see him fight?
Do you want to see him take on Drago again?
I want to see him take on Adonis Creed.
Mr. T. I want to. Oh. I want to see him take on Thunderlips.
I don't think I want to see him fight anyone. To be honest.
No, neither do I. I think it's such an odd choice. I don't think it feels like a really unneeded film. Don't get it. I feel the baton has been so easily and so securely been passed on to Creed, and that's the future of this Rocky franchise, I think.
So to talk about this, I'm going to talk about Toy Story for a second, and I'm going to talk about a huge scumbag who I don't really want to talk about. But John Lasseter always said that he'd never make another Toy Story film unless the right story came across his desk, and then he released Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
To much critical acclaim and financial success. Sylvester Stallone, on the high of Rocky 4, decided to write and direct Rocky 5.
That was a film.
Rocky 5 is a film that I enjoy more than most, but it is terrible. And put Stallone pretty much in Hollywood hell for a little while. No one wanted to hire him or work with him. He was in like a lot of obscure films after that, and he never really came back until really Rocky Balboa. Which, ironically, another Rocky film sort of brought him back. But once he was happy that had happened and he sort of reclaimed himself and, could pay his bills again, he kind of didn't want to touch Rocky again, ever. And then the script for Creed came across his desk via the sheer force of will that is Ryan Coogler. And, the passion and the story and all this made Stallone realise that, okay, this could work. I will go back. I will do that again. And then, obviously, to much critical and financial success, Creed and Creed 2 come out. And now it just kind of puts me in this weird, like, will it be this or this mode where is this Rocky 4 has been a huge success, so he's going to make Rocky 5 thing? Or is this going to be a story's come to his attention via sheer force of will, like Ryan Coogler and Creed sort of thing? So I guess this could go one of two ways, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Is it interesting?
Probably love it regardless, just like I love Rocky 5.
Obviously, at the end, spoiler alert for the end of Creed 2, that he goes and meets up with his son and he's with his family, and there's such a nice ending. Just for the character, and to be honest, the way that left, it was as if we might not even have seen him in a Creed 3. He might have had a very small role, but I don't imagine he would have had a big role in that. So I just wonder whether this is his sort of way of still getting it going. I don't know. Obviously, Rocky's such his character, and there wouldn't be a Rocky without him. So I don't know. It does feel a little bit more. I don't know. I think the way that the franchise is set, I think if I was him, I'd just leave it. I think it's ended in a good way. But like you said, if there is a great story, I think there are always great stories out there that could be told. I think it's just a matter of finding the right person to tell that story. So I don't know. It's really interesting to see what will happen with this and if it actually goes anywhere.
Yeah. Cool.
So let's go into box office. We spoke about last week's weekend's box office because we recorded later to cover all the Comic-Con news last weekend. So go and check that out if you haven't already. And if you have, then you'll know that our score is 3-3 since we started keeping track, because Tommy did his predictions live while recording.
Someone needs to go back.
I don't think you need to
tally up all the scores, because I'm sure I'd be way up.
No, it's I've gone back and it's 3-3.
Over 25 episodes, it's 3-3.
Yeah. So the new release for this weekend is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There is nothing else out. Do you have your predictions ready to go?
Got them ready.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So at number 5, I've got Crawl at let's say 3 million.
Okay.
At number 4, I've got Toy Story 4 at 9 million.
Okay.
Let me just change that because I've got it written down as $9, not 9 million.
Wow.
I don't want semantics to lose me the title next week. At number 3, we've got Spider-Man: Far From Home at 14 million.
Okay.
At number 2, we've got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 44 million.
Okay.
And then at number 1, we've got Lion King at, I'm going to say, a pretty hefty 92 million.
Wow. We have a very similar list.
Okay.
We have a couple of... I think we have 2 numbers that are exactly the same. So I've gone for Cruel with 3 million as well at 5. I've gone for Toy Story 4. I've put 8 million.
Oh, okay.
I've got Spider-Man: Far From Home with 10 million.
Ooh.
So I've gone quite a little bit less than you have.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I really didn't know whether to go high or go low because it's I think it's an R-rated film. It's got a lot of It's got a lot of pull to it with DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie. Tarantino himself as a pull. But I went with 36 million.
Okay.
And then I've got exactly the same number with Lion King of 92 million. Yeah. So the tiebreaker will be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
But that is it for this week's episode of In Case You Missed It. Be sure to check out we had a couple of reviews come out during the week. One for the current...
A week of reviews this week. It was really cool.
We did. And we had my review for the Blu-ray of Missing Link, if you haven't checked that out. We've got a good in development coming up this one. Might be my favourite in development that we've done.
Yeah, mine too, probably.
Because we've got a great editor to come and do some graphics for us, and it really adds to the video, so I recommend subscribing to our YouTube channel for that. And
good plug.
Yeah, go and watch the video for that when it comes out on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. What is happening with In Focus? Where are we at with that? Is that coming out this week?
It's coming out soon. We've had some technical difficulties with it.
Yeah.
It's had some hiccups, but the main thing is we want to get it right. We don't want to just put out any rubbish. So we want to make sure we get it right before it gets released.
100%. So yeah, stay tuned to all our social media and YouTube for all of those. And you can find us at Insider Network on Facebook. You can find us at Insider Network on Instagram. You can find us at Insider Network _ on Twitter. And
I hate that damn underscore.
I know. Is there I could just say at Insider Network on everything if it wasn't for that underscore. Go and check out Mr. TT Green on Twitter. That's Tommy. You can find me at Floodgate28. And do we have a giveaway next week?
We have a giveaway next week.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we have 3 giveaways next week, but
We
one
have
on the
3
show.
giveaways.
Next week. And I think the next week's episode will be later, if I'm right. So we can get those giveaways.
Sure.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's coming up. It's coming out. It needs to come out Monday. That's right. So
Yeah. So next week's, in case you missed it, will be out Monday instead of the Sunday. But that's just so that we can give you guys the giveaway when we're allowed to. But that's it. We'll see you next Monday then. Goodbye.
goodbye.